Choosing an email marketing plan platform. Dun, 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 dun. Now to the main question of tonight's show. Rule number one. Oh, there we go. Rule number one. Start with a free platform. Especially if this is your first time doing a newsletter, don't be paying for anything yet. There's so many good free platforms. Start with a free platform. Like, that shouldn't even be a question, y'all. You really want to pay for more, okay, but start with a free platform. Save your money, use it for other things, supplies, books, whatever. Rule number two, make sure the platform you choose provides analytics, and pretty much every platform provides analytics. This is one reason why I really like MailChimp. So let me just show you for an example. I'm going to show you based off of the first newsletter that I did. I'm going to go to campaigns, and they use the term campaign for your newsletter, which I find kind of interesting. I think of a newsletter campaign as like a series of newsletters, but they think of each newsletter as a campaign, just so you know. So it's a little bit, terminology is a little bit weird. I'm going to go down here to reports. Okay. New pop-up window. And I'm going to go to January 2022. And here I can see how many people opened my newsletter. It says, oh, it's interesting. Up here it says 8 people opened it, 1 people clicked on it. Down here it says total opens 15, which means that I think some people opened it more than once. It might have been me. I have to keep that in mind because I have the newsletters also being sent to me so that I can check to make sure that they work properly. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Total clicks 2. So that means 2 people actually clicked on things in the newsletter. And what's really cool is I can actually click map. I can go to a click map to see where did people click on things. Pretty cool. So if I go down, you'll see I have some images here from the Artist Relief Project to show classes I'm doing. And so here, sign up for the Artist Relief Project. 0 people clicked on that. And that's okay because most of the people who read my newsletter aren't artists actually, as at the moment, aren't artists actually. There are other types of people, mostly like patrons and other kinds of supporters. So that's the target audience that I'm really focusing on with my personal newsletter. And then here to the DamiSnyder.com website, nobody clicked on that. Nobody clicked on the social media links. So where did people click? Let's find out. Not sure where, but somewhere there were 2 clicks. Oh, it probably was on the actual email address itself. All right. And again, click rate, 8.3%. Clicks per unique open, 12.5%. And then appearance order, oh, Vimeo.com. That is where they clicked on the actual video. That's where the clicks were. I assumed it was my email address, but not. So yeah, 2 people clicked on the video to watch that. All right. So I really like this click map on MailChimp. I really like the way they have it. Okay, good. So analytics, you definitely want to choose a platform that has analytics. Now let's look at different providers other than just MailChimp. I really like this website. And this is what's really cool about this website is a lot of times when you do searches for like best platforms for newsletters or best ways to make a newsletter or any of those kind of things, you're going to get a lot of advertisements where you're going to get like WordPress creating an article saying how WordPress is the best place to make a newsletter. And you might not realize right away that that's an article written by WordPress. This happens a lot, by the way, y'all. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of times when you read these blogs and these articles saying like, oh, this is the best place to buy this equipment, or this is the best place to buy these supplies, they're through a name, sure, some sort of company name like this, Email Tool Tester, but that's run by the company that's actually promoting the company. So I hope that makes sense. But what's cool about Email Tool Tester, and you can actually read about their company, like this is all that they do is they just test out these different newsletter platforms. And or they say software platform. I'm using those terms interchangeably. So in this calculator, I can actually calculate how many recipients I might have. And this is something we discussed a little bit before. But let's say I have like 1,000 people on Instagram following. I think 100 people is a good guess for how many subscribers I might start out with. I'm just saying as an example. I'm just saying, like, I'm hoping to get 10% of my Instagram followers to sign up for my newsletter. That's going to be my tactic, my marketing tactic. So let's say I'm going to plan on having 100 recipients, and I want to do a subscription, not a pay as you go. Now, remember, you can do free subscriptions, and pay as you go means like pay as you do each newsletter. I would not suggest that kind of method. I would suggest a subscription. And again, starting with a free account, a free service, and then later you can always upgrade to something paid. So if I do 100 recipients and I want to do a subscription, here are all the different types of providers I can use. There's Sender, HubSpot, MailChimp, MailerLite, MoveSend, ConvertKit. There's tons. There's so many, y'all. Okay. And then here, notice the price, free, $0, $0, $0. There's tons of free services you can use. Those are the two things I look at first. And then I usually go over here to ratings and I check out the different ratings. Like for Sender and HubSpot, it says try for free. To me, that's not a good sign. MailChimp, 4+ a little stars. MailerLite, 4+ a lot of stars. MoveSend, almost 4 full stars. ConvertKit, almost 4 full stars, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll see that MailChimp is actually rated pretty high. And if I click on the review, I can read more. First, I just want to point out here, I can have up to 2,000. Here I am thinking, oh, I'm just going to have 100 recipients. I can have up to 2,000 using the free plan. Most of the plans are up to 2,000. Some of them are up to 1,000. As you get down further, 500. But the really good ones, 2,000-ish. Now, if I click on the review for that one, the thing that really sold me on MailChimp, even as a designer, even as someone who has graphic design skills and who like built my own website and all this stuff, I don't want to spend a lot of time designing newsletters. And what I really like about MailChimp is the great template editor. MailChimp sports a clean interface and a simple but powerful editor. So I will next week actually show you a little bit about how to use a template in MailChimp, and it's pretty easy. There were some things that, again, the first email I did, I was a little bit like, how does this work? And then I kind of got the hang of it, but still pretty intuitive, not very complicated. I think this is going to save you a lot of time if you pick a platform where the templates are really easy to use and they look good, they look professional. Okay, great. So more things to consider when looking at these different platforms. We already discussed number one, how many subscribers will you have if you were to take a guess, and how many will you hope to have in the future? Like, what are your goals? Like, I want to get 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And then number two, how often will you send emails? Again, I recommend starting out monthly. If you want to try weekly, you can, but just remember, it takes me personally about an hour to 2 hours to create just one newsletter. So do you have that kind of time each week? And how do you want to schedule those releases in the app? So going back to this review, for example, the cons of MailChimp, there's no email scheduling on the free plan. MailChimp recently removed this feature from its free forever plan, which makes it far less desirable. You'll also only have access to support for the first 30 days. Remember, there's other ways you can get questions answered through MailChimp about your newsletters. But if you really want a more advanced software where you can really schedule and plan out all your newsletters maybe for weeks and months in advance, MailChimp does not do that. That's probably something you're going to have to pay for. But again, if you're only doing one newsletter a month, you probably don't need that scheduling feature. So we'll come back to more features in a little bit, but just something I wanted to mention here.